What's up, party people, and welcome back to my channel. So today's video is going to be a battle royale of the felt tip liners. So I wanted to do this video for quite some time now, like 2 months ago, but felt tip liners are so good for making a wing. I've been testing out 6 different felt tip liners from drugstore to high-end, mostly drugstore because you guys know I'm a cheapskate. Now obviously I have not tried every felt tip liner on the market. These are literally the only ones I've tried. So I'm going to start from my least favorite and then go to my favorite. So let's go ahead and get started. So my least favorite liner from this pick is the Essence Super Fine Eyeliner Pen Waterproof. I don't really know why they jumble up the words waterproof eyeliner pen. And when you hear super fine, you think, okay, this is gonna be super tiny. Nope. Look at this big, ginormous hulk of an eyeliner pen. This is very long. It's not all that fine or tiny. It's actually pretty jumbo sized. This is just not very saturated with product. When you swatch it out and you're applying pressure, it does apply to be, pretty pigmented. The thing is, when you're applying this, you're gonna be using that little tiny tip up there. Well, it's not really all that tiny, but the little tip, and the tip itself is not very saturated with product. It's very dry. If you don't apply any pressure and you just swatch it with the tip, that's what you get. Barely anything. Barely? That was redneck. And I don't know if you guys can see, but it's very flexible and wobbly. So it's just really hard to get a nice precise line with this, and it's really hard to get a really pretty fade. So not only do I hate the applicator, but it's just way too dry. It doesn't translate onto the eyes very well, and it's just way too awkward and clunky. So this is my number 6 pick. My number 5 pick, which is my second to last least favorite, this is the W7 Line to 5 Waterproof Eyeliner Pen. This is a very random product. This is like my 400-pound life in an eyeliner pen. It's so chunky. I want a little bit of flexibility, like just a little bit of movement. Like the Essence one, that's like a roller coaster of movement, but this is just a little bit too stiff, and you cannot make a fine point with this. I feel like most of us like to make that really pretty, like the little it's not that pigmented. When you actually go to put this on your eyelids, it's pretty sheer, and I mean, I do like a little bit of buildability. I like a little bit of sheerness. I don't like something to start out too pigmented and too opaque right off the bat, because if you mess up, it's harder to erase that. But this is just way too dry. This doesn't seem very saturated with product either. So moving on to my number 4 favorite, or least favorite, however you want to look at it. So we're kind of getting more into the territory of like, these are the good products. These are the products that I do like, but I do not think this is a bad product. I'm putting it here because of the price, and because the products I'm going to mention above this, like 3, 2, and 1, they are very, very similar and a lot more reasonable for the price. So this is the Kat Von D Tattoo Liner in the shade Trooper Black, and this is a cult favorite. This is like $20 and everyone loves this. So this is a brush tip applicator, and it is pretty thin, and you can get a really nice, like fine, precise wing with this. I don't have any problems with wear or anything, but I will say this is one of those liners that does not start out very pigmented right off the bat, which is a good thing. And as you can see, you got a really fine line right there, so that's really good. And there's a little bit of flexibility to it, but not too much. I feel like it's a good amount of like movement, but I will say I do not think this is worth $20. So number 3 is the NYX Cosmetics Epic Ink Eyeliner. It's so hard to say, Epic Ink. So this one is very similar as far as the applicator goes. This does have a brush tip applicator, very much like the Kat Von D one. It's like the same shape, the same fineness. It comes to the same kind of point. There's literally no difference in this one and the Kat Von D one. But I will say this one is a lot more pigmented. So I do feel like this is not an exact dupe. So I'm gonna show you guys on the back of my hands. As you can see, it is jet black. It is very rich and very opaque. So I will say with this one, you do have to be a little bit more careful, because if you start with too thick of a line, like if you apply too much pressure when drawing on your wing, like outlining it, you will mess up and it will start bleeding. And if there's too much product coming out, then when you go to apply it, it's just gonna go like it's just gonna like puke all over your eyelid. But I do think it's more pigmented than the Kat Von D one, and it's a whole lot cheaper. Number 2 is probably the closest dupe to the Kat Von D tattoo liner, and that is from Jesse's Girl. So this is the waterproof liquid liner. Is it called waterproof liquid liner or just liquid liner? Okay, it just says liquid liner. You can find this at Rite Aid. It's only like $7. This has the exact same applicator, the same size, everything as the Kat Von D one. I'm gonna show you the tattoo liner in comparison. So here's the Jesse's Girl, here's the Kat Von D. So as you can see, like if you took away the packaging, like they look like the exact same product. And even how they apply and how they wear, I mean, it's literally identical. Whenever you go to make a wing with this, it just applies a really nice light amount, but it's just not overly pigmented. It doesn't bleed or anything. I will say the NYX one, even though it's number 3. It does bleed a little bit. Maybe I should put that one after the tattoo liner. We might switch up the NYX and the tattoo liner, but $20 for a pen liner is just outrageous for me, so I might keep it where it's at just because of that. So number 1 is one that I've kind of contemplated on a little bit because I go back and forth between this one and the Jesse's Girl one. I'm not very good at rating things because that would require me to make decisions. So this is the Wet n Wild Mega Slim Skinny Tip Eyeliner. So here's a Wet n Wild, here's a Jesse's Girl, which is the, you know, average size. As you can see, it just looks like a little baby compared to that one. It's so tiny and so fine. If you just like a tiny little flick, then this is gonna be the type of product that you'll like. It's very jet black, it's very rich in pigment. It does have a decent amount of flexibility, but not too much. So it's a different day. I wanted to give you guys an update. I really shouldn't have ranked these eyeliners from my least favorite to my favorite because I feel like my mind is kind of starting to change a little bit. I like to give you guys updates. I don't like to, like, if I feel like there's more to tell you, I don't like to just leave it at that. The update is going to be that I'm going to change around my rating system a little bit. And I hate to do this because I feel like you guys have watched this entire video and then it's like, oh wait, I'm changing my mind. But again, I want to tell you guys my full honest opinion and not withhold anything from you. The biggest update I have is on the NYX Epic Ink eyeliner, and that is that the bristle tip is completely frailed. They're just flailing out. I mean, they have completely lost their shape. It's something to do with how it closes, like how you put it in when the cap closes, but I don't have that issue with the other eyeliners, so it's something to do with the mechanism of this eyeliner in particular. I will say this is probably my favorite as far as the intensity goes because you can really get a super opaque, very full-on pigment line, and it's really easy to use this for the top lash line. I used it for my top lash line the first time today because I honestly didn't think that people use these for the top lash line. I figured this was just something that people use to make a wing. I did use the Jesse's Girl one on the other side to draw along the top lash line. Again, haven't done that before, and I'm so surprised because like I said, this does start out to be more sheer and buildable, but for some reason, like when you lay this on the eyes, it works perfectly. It does everything you want it to do. The Wet n Wild Mega Slim Liner, I forgot to mention earlier that this is not going to be a really good product for the top lash line. This is basically going to be best for drawing a wing, especially if you like a really tiny wing. It will be more work if you like a thicker wing, but if you're someone that does like a really thin line along the top lash line, this will lay really close to the lashes and get right at the root and give you a super, super fine line. So I'm going to keep the Essence and the W7 liners where they are at 5 and 6. As far as the number 4 placement, it would be a toss-up between the NYX and the Kat Von D liners because I feel like this issue with the NYX liner may not be an issue across the board. It may not be something that everyone experiences, and if that were the case, then it would definitely be higher up on the list. But I can't ignore the fact that this is messing up. I'm just gonna say that the NYX one's number 4 right now because of the applicator, but I love everything else about it. I love the way it applies to the top lash line. I'm actually pretty surprised at how well I locked down the top lash line. I love the way it makes a wing. I love the pigmentation. I'm just gonna put this one at number 4 to be fair, and the Kat Von D one to number 3, you know, to be unbiased. And then I kind of changed my mind about number 1 and number 2. I'm gonna say that the number 2 spot's gonna have to go to Wet n Wild now, just because I feel like it's such a good liner. Like, I have no problem with it whatsoever, but I actually like the Jesse's Girl one a little bit better. I feel like it's kind of foolproof for me. Whenever I use this, I never mess up. I'm gonna say the Wet n Wild's number 2 and Jesse's Girl is number 1. So sorry to be confusing, but just trying to be honest. Let me know in the comments below what are your favorite felt tip liners and what you use them for. Do you use them just for a wing, or do you also use them for your top lash line as well? So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you want to see more like it, make sure you give it a big old thumbs up. So thank you so much for watching and hanging out with me today. A thumbs up if you like this video, subscribe, follow me on my social media. All the links are below. I'm talking way too fast, and I hope you guys have a beautiful day. Mwah.